And yes, you're still watching TVC Breakfast. It's now time we take you to the center of unity for the FCT brief. And we have Esho Momo Imodu standing by. Esho, we're still speaking about this rivers and the tension in the crisis that's happening in River State. Over to you on this one. In Akwana, the conversation is with you now.
All right, thank you so much, Riyadh, in Akwana and Ageja. And I think here in Abuja, we've actually entered a very hot season. We escaped the harmattan that is supposed to come in January, but we're coping with this, the heat in Abuja. Now, let's quickly go to what we have for you. Now, good morning and welcome to FCT Brief. Now, today we turn our focus to Rivers State, where political tensions have reached a critical point following the impeachment saga involving Governor Siminalayi Fubara. What began as a struggle for political control has now evolved into a broader concern about governance, stability, and the future of peace in one of Nigeria's most politically strategic states. As stakeholders weigh in, the impeachment crisis has exposed deep divisions within the state's political architecture, raising questions about constitutional order, reconciliation, and the role of elders and institutions in restoring calm. Now, beyond the legal arguments, many residents are asking a pressing question. How can Rivers State move past confrontation towards dialogue and sustainable peace? And to help us get to the root of these issues and explore pathways to reconciliation, we are joined this morning by Anab Sarah Igbe, a respected voice and member of the Rivers State Elders Forum. Now, he shares insights on the stakes involved, the search for peace, and what lies ahead for Rivers State. Thank you, Chief, for coming on FCT Brief this morning.
Well, Happy New Year once more, and thank you. Happy New Year to you too.
Now, let's start this way. So many are involved in the search for peace in Rivers State. We have the Agabi Committee, we have the elders, and we have several stakeholders who want peace in Rivers State. But the question is, where were the Rivers elders when the impeachment was being hatched? Or some persons have said that the elders arrived late on the scene. Do you agree with this?
Well, thank you very much. As Rivers elders and leaders of thought, we have sat down, we have reacted before now, telling the House of Assembly to drop the idea of impeachment. Where, like you said, the Agabi panel also came, saw the minister, Nyesom, Wike, and also spoke with the governor. They also spoke with the River State Leaders and Elders Forum, and also spoke with Chief Fender Adabrama, who is the head of the former PDP Elders, now River State Elders Council. And some other persons, they spoke with them. So far as Rivers people are concerned, we need peace. We have lost 6 months to state of emergency. And we believe that at the time they came back, they will actually make peace. The governor on his part has tried to make peace, and they are emphasizing on agreement. Well, that agreement is not known to Rivers people. And as Rivers people, we are challenging them to publish that agreement, make the agreement public, so that will let us know where the governor erred. But so far so good, what we have seen, the governor has been giving them olive branch. But unfortunately, the members of the House of Assembly are not willing to make peace. They have also refused to see the Agabi panel set up by PANDEF. So what we are going to do is to appeal. We are still appealing to them to rescind that decision. Because they should realize that that instrument they are referring to in Section 188 is not the only law in the Constitution. In as much as they have the right to start an impeachment process, they should realize that Section 105 also empowered the governor to inaugurate and also to dissolve the House. The governor can dissolve the House and remit it to Mr. President in line with Section 305, because they are becoming a nuisance in the state. Whatever they are looking for, whatever they are asking for, what is important is dialogue. We thought they had met and agreed and worked together because they were elected to bring development to their constituencies. While the governor was elected by everybody in the state for the interest of the state, is the symbol of the River State. So when the House of Assembly decided to insult the governor, they're insulting River State. They're insulting River People. Okay. We have lost so much. We have lost development. 6 months was stagnated. The state was stagnated for 6 months.
Okay,
the stranger came and did whatever he likes. Now, what is the cause of the matter? Before now, they said, Wike said he needed structure. Mr. President has given him all the structures. He has gotten the local government chairman through a kangaroo election. The governor, in the spirit of peace, did not contest it. They've also dissolved some sanitary board and appointed people. That the governor did not also.
Let me not quickly come with this.
He believed that with everybody coming together.
Yeah, Chief Saragwe, let me quickly ask this question.
Yes.
You are a member of the River State Elders Forum. Some persons have said that these elders in River State are so aligned that their credibility is now in doubt. When you talk about a search for peace, you also talked about the Agabi committee, that the House of Assembly members don't want to respect the committee, which means there is loss of confidence. Now, how do you broker peace if the institutions, the committees that are supposed to be at the forefront of brokering peace, has credibility question?
Well, what do you mean by credibility? The River State Elders and Elders Forum are the likes of His Excellency Rufus and the Judge, the former governor of the state. We also have Sir G.T.G. Toby, who was also the deputy governor of the state. We have Riyad Rafegesi. We have several past governors, military governors, and eminent River Support, who are also eminent Nigerians. Our interest is peace from the beginning, because if we look at if we dissect the entire process, the House of Assembly and their leader, Nyesom Wike, are not interested in genuine peace. Nyesom Wike has repeatedly said he wants the governor out, that the president saved him. Now, in the past, they said, oh, he's PDP, he wants to fight the president. Now he has moved over to APC, where the governor, president is. Yet, he are not still given the peace. So we don't know what they want. Whether the speaker wants to become an acting governor or a governor by force, we don't understand.
Okay.
We want them to bring their cards to the field. They are talking about constitution. Everybody everyone in this country is aware that Mr. Governor tried every effort to present his budget to the House of Assembly. He was knocked out. Okay. The National Assembly, under Section 11, Subsection 4, has taken over the powers of the Assembly when the state of emergency was created. And they came up with an appropriation bill or act, which became act, by 1.48 billion. And that money was still, that budget was still there when the governor and the House of Assembly were recalled. But their first meeting from the state of emergency was to compel, not even with diplomacy, instead of them to go and discuss with their friend who is in the same party with them, who is the governor of River State, they came on air forcing the governor to present a budget.
Okay.
Chief,
let me quickly bring this in. Earlier in the conversation, there was a narrative you gave. I'd like us to put it in proper perspective. You said the governor has the power to dissolve the House. The governor was elected for 4-year term. The House of Assembly were also elected for 4-year term. But did you find it that the governor has the powers to dissolve the House before the expiration of their tenure? I would like you to quickly react to that.
Let me tell you, Nigeria is a country where the laws are not obeyed. For instance, an high court has altered their process. Let us look at the matter before you proceed. They said no. They don't obey the law. If they are not obeying the law, let Mr. Governor use his powers under Section 105, dissolve the assembly, then transmit to Mr. President why it is dissolving the assembly. Mr. President cannot take further.
That seems to be an action. You're just advocating what is not in the Constitution. But let's quickly go forward now. Where are the Rivers State people in all this equation? We've talked about the Rivers elders. We've talked about several stakeholders. But some persons say that the Rivers State people seem that they have been conquered. And because it's like, are you afraid of an election? If they say he contravened the Constitution and he should be impeached, of course there's going to be an election. So is it that the people have been conquered, that their voice is no longer recognized? Exactly what is happening in Rivers State politics?
Let us look at the whole impeachment conditions. First, you are asking him to present a budget, which he refused to accept. Two, National Assembly has given him a budget, and you are asking him to present a budget to you, which is not right. The National Assembly budget is still there. It's the prerogative of the governor to ask for supplementary budget if he feels that he has no sufficient resources to meet up with the budget. The governor is the right of the governor, not the right of National Assembly, to say they want supplementary budget. That is one. Two, because the governor is a peace-loving person, he has spoken to Rivers people to be calm. Nobody should make comment. Everybody should let them leave them to do whatever they want to do. But the matter is, it's a matter of the state, not even the governor. The state is not owned by the assembly, neither is the state owned by the governor. There are people in the state that they are supposed to serve. And the people are saying, allow this governor to perform the miracle he's performing. For 6 months, there was no commissioning of project. He came, immediately, he started commissioning project. He started completing project. And other projects were revived. That team distribute this wealth as was doing before now.
All right, Chief, I'll beg you to hold your thoughts there. I'll beg you to hold your thoughts. Let's quickly go on a break. And when we come back, we'll continue with the narrative, what is playing out in Rivers State politics. Please do stay with us. You're welcome back. Now, if you're just joining us, I've been speaking with Chief Anap Sarah Igbe, a member of the River State Elders Forum, speaking about the search for peace in Rivers State. Now, Chief, we left off talking about the Rivers people and all that. Now, let's quickly go into this. Rivers State seems to be one state that so many things that Nigerians have thought can never happen is happening. For instance, when this whole crisis started, the governor was in PDP, and you had the PDP who never made a move to intervene in the crisis in Rivers State. And now the governor has defected into APC. The lawmakers are also in APC. And people say you've yet to have an official statement from the APC, though there is a group that is speaking. But we'll come to that later because people say they are not the one recognized by the party. Now, would you expect that in the search for this peace, that the APC, the NWC of the APC, should make a categorical statement or to spearhead the search for peace in Rivers State?
Well, we expecting the APC hierarchy to reach into this crisis because the government they want to impeach is APC, an APC governor, and the assembly members are also APC. And if they believe in the supremacy of the party, I think what they ought to do was to complain to the party and let the party intervene, invite both parties to resolve this difference. President has been out of the country. We are glad he's back. We believe that he was arbiter. He knows the agreement or no agreement. And he should be able to also intervene to see that Rivers State is peaceful. We are not interested in crisis. We are still looking at our losses for 6 months. Development was stalled for 6 months. And so we would not like any crisis that would further reduce Rivers State to nothing. So Mr. President is back. The APC as a party should also come into this matter. Because if they say they are not going to obey law, the court of law, then the governor can also exercise his power in section 105 and also his powers in section 305 and let them go to court if they cannot obey the court. And let us see which court they want to obey. They are talking about Supreme Court judgment. or Supreme Court has done this, has given that judgment. The law, in trial law says, when a man is being punished for a crime, he cannot punish him twice. Because of all those pronouncements of the Supreme Court, Mr. President used his own discretion outside the law to suspend the governor and ask for assembly. As if that is not enough for them. What is their interest? Real development. What is their interest? Somebody wants to become governor by all means. What is their interest? Just to destroy the young man who is the governor, which is not fair. So we are expecting the APC as a party to come in. If the River State elders intervene and they are not listening to anybody, if the elders council of the PDP are not also making effort to make sure this matter is resolved, because they are one family and they are friends. So what is it that they cannot sit down as young men to resolve? This is the question we ask ourselves. Is it because of the wealth of the state? Did they want to squander the wealth of the state? And the governor has come out to say he will not squander Rivers' money. He will use the money to develop the state and not to share it. And we all know who the governor is. He's not a talkative. He's a calm person. And that is why they are doing all that. If this were to be Nyesom Wike, they cannot try it. By now they will know where they are. The governor had opportunities even to jail them.
Explain. Is that a positive aspect for the governor of a state? You just described him, the way you just described him. Is that positive or a negative attribute to his person and the use of the power under his disposal?
Let me say the governor has not been able to utilize his powers. You're not hearing me.
Okay, yeah, I can hear you. Continue. Chief, I can hear you. Now, Chief,
yes, you can hear me now.
Very well, I can hear you.
What we are saying is, the governor is a peace-loving man and is still asking for peace. If it were to be Nyesom Wike, these boys will not enter Port Harcourt. But the governor feels them as part of the government. They are his friends. And he believes that he can still achieve peace. If there are misunderstandings, there are three organs of government: the legislature, the judiciary, and the executive. They should lock themselves in the room and resolve it.
Okay,
Nyesom Wike, who is the leader of the assembly members, and who also brought the governor. This is the time we expect him to come and say, look, this is how we want it. Tell Rivers people, this is my position. But rather than doing that, he is going around the local government campaigning, contrary to the Electoral Act. The elections, the INEC has not given permission for campaign, but he's going around the local governments in the state campaigning against the government, which is not also the best.
Okay, Chief, let's look at it this way. Let's look at it this way. The governor is the governor of the state, and if you say he's not been that assertive over time, now how do we place justice and the search for peace? Because it's like everybody is talking about peace. So we want peace at all costs. But Minister Nyesom Wike will always say agreement is agreement. So there was an agreement. The governor was not coerced to sign the agreement. He accepted the agreement. And if he backed out of the agreement, would you hold anybody responsible for something he willingly walked into and he wants to walk out of? Because every politician, of course, wants to preserve themselves. So will you fault Minister Wike for fighting to preserve himself in Rivers State?
Let us know the agreement. Rivers people want to know the agreement. The governor is the governor of Rivers State. Nyesom Wike is the son of Rivers State. The assembly members are also children of Rivers State. So if there is an agreement that is controversial, let the Rivers people know the agreement. Again, if they had an agreement in PDP and now they are in APC, whatever agreement in PDP is not binding. We are in a new party. And it is the party that will now decide how it should be run. So Nyesom Wike as a leader should try and protect his legacy. You cannot be destroying your legacy left, right, and center. Right in your party, you are fighting, your state, you are fighting. It's not a good omen for a leader. So I think the party, Mr. President and the Nyesom Wike have the key to this peace. The governor, like I said, has asked everybody not to talk. He has asked anybody not to make sarcastic statement that will worsen the situation. And so, what did they want? They have taken the field day, abusing the governor, calling him all sorts of names, and he has given them everything. Oh, structure. Local government. We all know what the Supreme Court said about the number of days of notice. The local government chairman today did not even comply with the Electoral Act, neither did they comply with the Constitution or the Supreme Court judgment. But yet, the man in the interest of peace had a blind eye on it. What did they want? They have gotten everything they wanted. Everything they needed, did they want the juggling? They want now with the juggler. I think the governor should come back from the slumber. He should not sit down and watch them do what they're doing. Okay. I know Golden is silent.
All right, the governor should come out.
Okay. There's a limit to how Rivers people will take it.
Chief, let's look at it this way. Now, the current peace effort, some persons say the current peace effort is just designed to restore stability. It's designed to restore stability or to freeze the conflict until some persons have advantage. That is it designed to restore stability or just to freeze the conflict until some persons gain political advantage? What is the intention of this peace move?
Well, Rivers people want stability. Because if the state is not stable, there will be no development. This young man is doing well in terms of development. And so if there's no peace and there's no stability, this peaceful process will not go on. It will stall development. And that is why we are saying, let there be peace. And like I said, the key to this peace is in the hand of Mr. President, the APC as a party, and Nyesom Wike, who is the father of both parties. Well, I want them to understand one thing clearly. Nyesom Wike, as when he was a governor, he was made a governor by people. Some people stake their neck for him to become governor. He did not implement all the terms of agreement before he became governor. And today, he has assisted his Sim. Sim always acknowledged that. And that is why he's finding it very difficult to fight back. Whatever they wanted, oh, go to APC. He has gone to APC. What did they want? Did they want Sim to bring his wife for them to sleep in her? Is that when they will know that Sim wants peace? Okay. This is not right. It's wrong.
All right.
We want a peaceful state. We want development in this state. So if they have in the interest of the state, if they are representing the interests of the state, I think they need to dialogue.
Okay.
We have several fora where we can dialogue.
Chief, yeah, you just talked about dialogue. You just talked about dialogue, and the other thought is, are we also looking at the possibility, because you're fighting godfatherism, I guess. You don't want one person to lord himself over the state. How about the possibility of the governor also not dispensing favor to other political actors? Because the House of Assembly, you might not agree with them, are also having issues with the governor. Would you want a situation whereby you're fighting against the minister, you claim the minister wants to be a godfather, meanwhile the governor is also, some are accusing him that he's also positioning himself to be Lord of all? So what exactly do you want in Rivers State?
You see, this is not the first time. It's the governor of Rivers State, and several other governors. We saw how the assembly and the governors work. There is no day, no way the speaker wants to see the governor, that the doors will not be open. Or if the speaker invites the governor, there is no way he will not go there. But because they have ill intention, as soon as they came back, we had the Independence Day celebration. They were invited. They refused to show up. That is after they had told Mr. President they have made peace. There are several occasions they were invited to work with the governor. They refused to work with the governor. The governor is not even exercising his powers as a governor because he's interested in peace. If the governor is interested in exercise power, what happened in the university will not happen. When Nyesom Wike tried Bayelsa, that he wanted to go into Bayelsa, and they asked him not to come and refuse, and Bayelsa was reacted. Nyesom Wike ran away, and that was the end of the matter. But here in Rivers State, the governor is not allowing anybody to even reply them. The governor is not willing to exchange words with them. The governor's interest is peace. He has told Nigerians that whatever they want, in the interest of peace, he was willing to do it. So what else do we need? What did they need? Did they want his head? That was agreed. 2027 is by the corner. INEC had just released the electoral program. Did they want him not to contest? If 32 of them in the House, if 28 don't want the governor to contest, did they have such powers?
Okay. Just because of time, let me quickly intervene with this question before we go. Even when this crisis is sorted, there seems to be a brewing crisis in Rivers State because two factions are laying claim to the APC in Rivers State. There is the Tony Okocha's faction that is recognized by the NWC, and there is also the Emeka Beki's faction that is laying claim that they have a court ruling. So, are we going to move from one crisis into another crisis? Why is it about Rivers State?
Let me tell you, the governor, when the consultation took place, and when he was moving to APC, he worked with the Okocha group. The Beke group also have a relationship with him. He's trying to create synergy within the party. So if today the government is trying to make peace with everybody, and the one section is not willing to make peace. Like I said, the Agabi panel came. The almighty Nyesom Wike met with them. The governor of Rivers State met with them. But they refused to meet with the panel. What did they want? If the panel led by Agabi and other eminent Nigerian Delta leaders, former ministers, former generals, and others, eminent Nigerians, and they refuse to meet with them. These are people that can father all of them. Agabi can father all of them. And if a father figure like Agabi, a former Attorney General of the Federation, comes in to make peace, and you are not ready to talk to him,
all right.
That is arrogance. And this the problem we have in Rivers State is
Thank you so much, Chief.
The problem we have in Rivers State is, you know what I'm going to conclude this? I said the problem we
Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us. That is what time will permit us.
And pride.
Chief, that is what time will permit us to have on FCT Brief this morning. We quite appreciate your thoughts. And I think what the stakeholders and everyone in Rivers State is asking, and even Nigeria, is for justice and for peace in Rivers State. And I'll hand you back to my colleague in Lagos for the remaining part of this program. Please stay with us.
All right, thank you very much, Ashomamo. What we definitely need in Rivers is peace and tranquility. What a beautiful interview from Abuja. Thank you.